I'm meteorologist Brianna Mallory, and we now have the second hurricane of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Gabrielle became a hurricane today, this afternoon. Winds now 75 miles per hour, gusts are 90 miles per hour, and that pressure is continuing to drop, which means it is getting stronger. So here's that forecast path of Hurricane Gabrielle. It's still expected to strengthen as it moves to the northeast. So right now it's Category 1 hurricane, and it will stay a Category 1 hurricane through most of the day tomorrow. But by Tuesday, it could briefly become a Category 3 hurricane before weakening again to a Category 2, and then of course a Category 1, and then back post-tropical storm as it heads north into cooler waters. So again, as of now, this storm is not expected to make an impact along the United States, and those models are continuing to agree with that. Models are well into agreement on the path of Hurricane Gabrielle, so there's no way it's going to be able to turn and head into our direction. So this is not going to be one to cause a lot of concern, but we are still watching it as it does move to the north. But also looking at the winds, hurricane force winds, the chance for that staying pretty close to that center of where the eye is on Gabrielle. Continue to move to the north. Those wind chances getting lower as it weakens. So we're not expecting those hurricane force winds to last too long. And then as it does weaken into a post-tropical system, not expecting any hurricane force winds. Now for the tropical storm wind chances, those spread out a little bit farther from the center as we are going to be seeing a little bit of those impacts. For those in Bermuda, could see some rip currents as well as Gabrielle passes just to their east. There's chance for about a low chance of tropical storm winds in Bermuda, but other than that, not any impacts on landfall. As it weakens, we will see that wind field getting smaller as well, and weakening, that chance of wind lowering as the system weakens. But one thing we are watching, or two things really that we are watching, is more areas of potential development. So this is behind Gabrielle, this first one. It has a 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours, but a 60% chance over the next 7 days. And this has increased. This morning, it was only a 40% chance. So National Hurricane Center is really watching that one in the orange, but also watching the one in yellow. It has a 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours and a 30% chance of development over the next 7 days. So although that chance of development is lower, it's also a little closer. The X's mark where those systems are right now, and the shaded areas is where we could see further development. But out there right now, water temperatures are very warm in these areas, which is why the chance of development has increased with those two storms that we're watching. So water temperatures, in order for a tropical storm, hurricane, any tropical system to develop, the water temperature must be around 80 degrees or higher. Those water temperatures are plenty warm enough for development of both of those systems we're watching, well past 80 degrees. They're pushing mid to upper 80 degrees for those water temperatures in a large part of the tropics, which is where those two storms are at right now. Another thing we look at is Saharan dust. If we have too much Saharan dust, the storm can't form, the air is too dry. But in the areas where these two areas of potential development are, there's not a lot of Saharan dust, which is also why the National Hurricane Center increased those two chances for development that we're watching. But as far as the time frame goes, we still have some time, which is the good news. The first system, that yellow one, the X is where it is now. The yellow is where it could develop, where we will watch. It is in that 7 to 10 day window, the yellow shading. So we do have to keep a close watch on it. The chance of development is lower, which is some good news, but it has moved into that yellow shaded region, which again have 7 to 10 days out from potential impacts. So worth watching that one. But also the other one, the second one we're watching, it's a little farther out, but it also has a higher chance of developing. It's in that 8 to 14 day range. The X is where it is now. The shaded region, the orange sort of oval shape you see, that's where it will potentially develop. So it's 8 to 14 days out. So it's worth mentioning, it's worth watching, but we don't have to watch it quite as closely as that first system for development. The chance of development on this one, though, is a little bit higher. Looking at where we are in the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, it began on June 1st and it will last until November 30th. The peak day was September 10th, but we're in those peak months right now where we have the most activity for tropical storms and hurricanes. We are, though, seeing a little bit of a slower than normal season, a slower than average hurricane season for this point in hurricane season, but still in those peak months where we have the warmest waters and we can see the most development of those tropical systems. But we are going to continue to monitor Gabrielle and both of those potential areas of development in the Atlantic, and we will continue to bring the latest updates. Again, on News 19, I'm meteorologist Brianna Mowry.
The news doesn't end here. Download WLTX Plus for free on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.